You are building a masterpiece, a perfect, golden staircase, each step crafted with immense effort and intelligence. But there is a fatal flaw in your design you cannot see. It leads directly into a solid wall. The most terrifying part is not that you are doing this, but that a part of your brain is enjoying it. It is getting a chemical reward for this useless work. This isn't a failure of your logic or your work ethic. It is a predictable feature of your mental operating system, a cognitive bias that is costing you a fortune and, more importantly, your time. This glitch causes you to confuse effort with progress. It makes you fall in love with the complexity of the climb, ignoring the fact that you are going nowhere. Think about that complex budget you spent a month creating, with dozens of categories and formulas. It fails every time, yet you keep trying to fix it instead of abandoning it for a simpler system that works. Or that investment you spent 100 hours researching. It's losing money, but you refuse to sell because you are too invested in the effort you put in. This is a psychological phenomenon known as effort justification. It is the invisible force that convinces you that the harder something is, the more valuable it must be. Your brain is wired to protect your ego from the painful idea that your hard work might have been completely and utterly wasted. It creates a delusion of value to justify the struggle, and it is the primary reason intelligent people stay stuck. This bias operates in the background, quietly influencing your biggest financial decisions without your consent. To regain control, you first have to understand the mechanics of this self-sabotaging code. The origin of this glitch lies in a simple, universal human experience that marketers and designers have learned to exploit with devastating efficiency. Let's deconstruct it. In 2012, researchers from Harvard Business School demonstrated this effect with a simple experiment. They had one group of participants build an IKEA storage box with complete, easy-to-follow instructions. A second group was given the same task, but their instructions were intentionally missing several key steps, forcing them to struggle and spend much more effort to complete the box. Afterward, they were asked how much they would be willing to pay for the box they had just built. The results were astounding. The group that struggled, the one that put in more useless effort, valued their box significantly more than the group that had an easy time. The extra effort created an irrational emotional attachment. They called this the IKEA effect. Your financial life is one giant IKEA project. When you spend 40 hours creating a financial plan, your brain doesn't see a tool to be judged on its results. It sees a precious creation, a testament to your hard work. The plan's objective failure becomes secondary to the subjective value of the effort you invested. You are no longer managing your money. You are protecting your ego. This applies directly to your career. You stay in a difficult, underpaying job, telling yourself the struggle will be worth it. You turn down a simpler, higher-paying opportunity because it feels too easy, and your brain has been conditioned to see effort itself as the prize. You are valuing the box you are building, not what it can actually do for you. In investing, this is catastrophic. An investor who spends months creating a complex trading algorithm will stick with it long after a simpler index fund has outperformed it. They are not in love with the results. They are in love with their cleverness and the effort it took to create their system. They become blind to the objective data, filtered through a powerful emotional lens. So now you can see the machine. Your brain's desire to justify your effort creates an emotional attachment, which then forces you to make irrational decisions to protect that attachment. It is a closed loop of self-sabotage. But seeing the machine is not enough. You have to know how to break it. The solution is a simple but radical shift in perspective. The first step to breaking this cycle is to wage war on complexity. In finance, simplicity is not a sign of ignorance. It is a sign of profound understanding. A simple financial plan that you can stick to is infinitely superior to a complex one you abandon. Your brain will resist this because complexity feels like productive effort. You must learn to ignore that feeling. The second step is to create a system of judgment that is completely divorced from your emotions and your effort. I call this the ruthless outcome audit. It is a scheduled, unemotional meeting with yourself, where you look at nothing but the data. The only question allowed is, did this action, strategy, or system produce the desired result? The amount of effort you expended is irrelevant and forbidden from the discussion. For your budget, the audit question is not, did I try hard? But, did I stay within my spending targets? Yes or no? If the answer is no, the system is a failure, regardless of how beautifully crafted the spreadsheet is. For your investments, the question is not, was my research thorough? But, did this investment meet or beat its benchmark? Yes or no? This feels brutal because it is. It forces your ego to confront the possibility of wasted effort. But this brutality is what liberates you. By focusing only on outcomes, you give yourself permission to abandon failing strategies without feeling like a failure yourself. You are not your strategy. You are the manager of your strategies, and a good manager fires the ones that do not perform, no matter how much they cost to train. To implement this, create a simple strategy dashboard. One column for the strategy, one for the intended outcome, and one for the actual outcome, measured monthly or quarterly. That is it. This simple document is the weapon you will use against your brain's love for useless work. It makes the results undeniable and separates your identity from the process. Adopting this mindset of a ruthless, outcome-focused manager is the key to finally aligning your incredible effort with actual, tangible results. You stop building staircases to nowhere and start building simple ramps to where you want to go. But this entire system depends on one thing: a well-designed plan. What if the very way we create plans is fundamentally broken? We have established that your brain has a dangerous addiction to useless work, a bias called effort justification. This hidden script makes you overvalue things, simply because you struggled to obtain or create them. It is the reason you cling to complex, failing financial systems and underperforming investments. The struggle feels more valuable than the actual result. We revealed that this is not a personal flaw, but a documented feature of human psychology, the IKEA effect. The more friction and effort involved in a task, the greater our irrational emotional attachment to the outcome becomes. This attachment then sabotages our ability to make objective decisions, forcing us to defend our past efforts instead of pursuing future gains. The solution we've outlined is to become a ruthless manager of your own strategies. By waging war on unnecessary complexity and implementing a ruthless outcome audit, you can systematically override this bias. This process forces you to judge your financial tools based on one simple criterion: do they work? All other metrics, especially effort, are discarded. This mental model shifts your identity from the hard worker to the smart operator. You stop taking pride in the complexity of your systems and start taking pride in the efficiency of your results. This is the fundamental transition from financial amateur to financial professional. It is about channeling your intelligence not into the process but into the design and auditing of the process. By learning to recognize and systematically dismantle the effort trap, you reclaim control. You give yourself permission to take the easier path when it is the more effective one. You liberate your future financial decisions from the emotional baggage of your past efforts, allowing you to be agile, objective, and ultimately far more successful in reaching your goals. You now possess the tool to evaluate and discard any financial strategy that isn't delivering results. But this tool is only as good as the new plans you create to replace the old ones. And this is where a second, even more fundamental cognitive bias comes into play, one that dooms most financial plans from the moment they are conceived. The central lesson of this video is that your brain's innate wiring can turn your greatest strength, your work ethic, into your biggest financial liability. The effort trap convinces you that because you worked hard on something, it must be valuable. This single powerful delusion can keep you stuck for years, polishing a staircase that leads directly into a wall. The mental tool you now have is the ruthless outcome audit. It is a conscious, deliberate system to counteract this bias. By judging every financial action solely on its results, not the effort invested, you separate your ego from your strategy. This allows you to be nimble, to cut losses quickly, and to allocate your precious energy only to the things that truly move the needle. You are no longer just the builder, you are the architect. Your job is not to work hard within the system, but to design a system that works hard for you. This distinction is the key to unlocking the next level of your financial evolution. It's the difference between being a passenger in your own life and taking the controls. But what happens when you sit down at that control panel to design your next perfect plan? You set clear goals. You feel a surge of motivation. You map out every step with precision. Yet you may be designing another beautiful failure from the start. Not because of effort, but because of a deep-seated optimism bias hardwired into your brain. This glitch, known as the planning fallacy, ensures that your plans are almost always based on a best-case scenario that will never happen. It is the invisible force that makes your budgets collapse and your timelines stretch into infinity. Understanding this fallacy is the only way to build a financial system that is resilient and adaptable, rather than rigid and fragile. I have created a full deconstruction of the planning fallacy and the exact method to counteract it, allowing you to create a budget that actually survives contact with the real world. To finally stop the cycle of planning, failing, and starting over, click the video you see on your screen right now and build a system that lasts.